I woke up early in the morning at 6 o'clock at the moment at the beautiful sound of a dentist digging into your molars.
I see you have taken on a new profession.
Yeah. And there we go. Don't make the same mistakes as I do. Another sunny, kind of beautiful day, which is nice because it's dry, but sometimes the heat, it's always far above 30 degrees Celsius. Far, it's like 33, things like that, 31. But it's all asphalt, hot sand, steel boats. So it can get really hot over here. And often not too much wind or no wind at all. We'll have to do with it. We are making progress, but it's not going fast. We are not going fast. Sometimes that's our own fault because it's just too hot to want to do anything. And sometimes we are just lazy. But we're getting there slowly.
I'm starting up with heat epoxy. If that's smart, I don't know. I'm going to do it anyway. The handy thing about it is that I can shape things because I'm working upside down, so you can make thick epoxy mix with cotton powder and little fibers, but it still tends to drip. So if you need to fill up thick parts, that's going to be a little hard.
And now let's see what has come from this. Must have hardened out quite okay. That's a nice thing with normal plastic, it doesn't stick to epoxy. It doesn't look nice, of course, but there's way more material on it than we need, so we can grind this all away, no problem. As you can see, it's not filled up totally. Strange. But that's not a big problem because I can just put some more stuff here. The thing was there was a lot of material over here which would drip down, and I needed to put the plank underneath it and then needed to fill up some more, but I couldn't see what I did, of course, because the plank was here. Actually, I was quite sure there was enough material over here, so maybe there's some crimp. I don't know. But hey, at least we're getting somewhere. Every step is a step. So I'm first going to grind this out a little to rough it up and to get some material out of the way. And then I'm going to fill it up with some more epoxy. Not such a big deal, but it's like always good to wear this when you're busy with epoxy, because the dust epoxy is not good for your lungs. Your lungs, epoxy, no good friends. I woke up early in the morning at 6 o'clock at the moment at the beautiful sound of a dentist digging into your molars. What's going on over here? Let's take a looky. The sound is coming from over here somewhere. There it is. I have to take a look downstairs. Where is she? Where is she? She already moved. Hello, my dear.
I see you have taken on a new profession. Yeah.
The hull has quite a lot of dents in it. Some bigger holes with a lot of those strange little holes of which we don't know where they come from. They don't look like real dents from a hit or something. It's more like holes have just fallen into the gel coat. And now she's grinding out these little holes, after which we need to repair them. There's another job I can do here. I removed 2 through holes over there and over there. This is from the old speedometer with a little wheel, and this is from the old depth sounder. The new depth sounder has an in-hole sensor, so we don't need those holes anymore. Now we do need a hole over here for the inlet for the watermaker, because now we share the toilet inlet, which is no problem of course, but the flow is not really good, and I want to get the inlet further away from the toilet inlet, because the toilet outlet is close to it. So you can't use the toilet not with the outlet when the watermaker is taking in water. It wouldn't hurt anyway, because the watermaker is getting everything out, but still, you know, maybe the smell, I don't know. So the plan is to close up those through holes, which I've never done, which I found a little scary before I looked into it. What I learned by now is that you need to take material away around the hole in a ratio of 1 to 12. The depth that I make here times 12. I'm going to do that, so I make a conical hole. I leave more than enough material over here, and then I'm going to lay it up with fiberglass with epoxy. They are ready, kind of, I think. I hope you can see it on your screen, but this is conical, see? And after some thinking, I was thinking to use this Dremel, which I could buy second-hand from another sailor just before we left Italy. And that is for extra strength. I want to make a kind of extra rim. I'll show you later. So part of the hole I make a little bigger. Afterwards, when I close this up, I'm gonna throw some epoxy in this hole, so it will kind of stuck behind that rim for some extra strength. Maybe it's stupid, but I don't care. So maybe it's a bit of a nonsense idea, but it feels good. Some degreasing, acetone. Nasty thing is that they don't sell acetone here, some environmental thing. And alcohol is not a big thing here. And this is the last little bit, so I need to start using ammonia or something. I'm going to do some more epoxy work on the keel and also on the rudders. There's some parts I need to put a layer of epoxy on, and because they are vertical surfaces and the keel even at the underside, I'm gonna put some cotton powder in it to make it stronger, like peanut butter-ish. I found this, I had to order it on the internet, epoxy. For some reason in Sicily and also here in Tunisia, nobody is using epoxy. Everything is done with polyester, also reparations, but I like epoxy so much more. And it's waterproof, of course, while polyester is okay-ish waterproof. And there's parts that has already been done with epoxy. And the thing is, you can put epoxy over almost anything except Teflon, those kind of things, and the normal plastic bag material. So that's why I rather use epoxy. Never used this, it's new for me, but it's epoxy. It's all kind of the same stuff, I guess. 2-component. I don't have a knife here and I'm too lazy to go back up. Let's see. This is bluish, transparent blue. And this is transparent. Something like that. I'm gonna mix it up, A and B. Not too much, because I did a little bit too much with the last batch for the keel, and I wanted to use it for other things, but it got so hot and hard so fast that I could throw quite a lot away. It's a flat surface here, approximately. So let's say do something like this, A, and then half of it, B. I actually hate these kind of cans, because it's always going to be a mess. Stir the stuff for like 2 minutes, very well. Bottom, sides. I think you get about 20 minutes time to do something with it. Now watch out with the cotton powder, it's nasty stuff if you breathe it in. It is fluid like water, especially there's a little wind.
Also with stirring, not too fast because it's gonna blow everywhere. You need quite a lot of this stuff to get it like peanut butter thickness. And you need it especially when you work upside down, otherwise it just drips down. Look. And how are things going over here? Gaat ie?
Ja, het wordt er niet mooier op. Ik heb gewoon allemaal vlekken.
So look, Anja filled up all the little holes with polyester. Now she's sanding them. So she started out with P220, right? P220, then comes P500, P800, and even P1200, which is very, very, very fine to get all the scratches out and make it nice and shiny. Chances are big though that we never get it nice and shiny because it looks like in some places there is paint over it, over the gel coat, and where you can see the gel coat, it's not really nice. It looks like it needs new layers of gel coat. That's not what we're gonna do. We are old and ugly, so the boat can be old and ugly too. We found some polishing paste for cars, so I guess that's good for this too. And these are all the 500,000 holes of the cables that went into the old arch. Bonjour. Bien, bien. Yeah. This one huge hole was for just one cable, so we need to close them up, make them look nice. Lots of those cables we won't use anymore because it's from the Navtex, from the SSB receiver, the old GPS that didn't work anymore, things like that. Polyester putty. Never used it before. This is the first time we do polyester work. We've always done things with epoxy, thickened epoxy putties. So I hope this works. There's fibers in it. I need to put in quite a lot to really fill up the hole. Can't see it, of course, how much I put in it. And it's thick holes, 2 centimeters or even more over here. Can you see the fibers here? There's nothing underneath here, just empty space, so I don't have to worry about my stuff down there. Next step in the through hull thingy. It's kind of, I won't say it's nerve-wracking, but it is important that it's done well, because water into the boat, no good. Water needs to be out of the boat. The through hulls, both of them, I'm going to close it with what I have, which is hopefully enough stuff, enough good stuff to do the job. Oh, forgot something. Wait a minute. Cotton powder. It's important to have everything, because if you forget something and you make the epoxy, you don't have much time to do other things. So what do we have here? 2-component epoxy, microfibers to have a better connection with the hull, acetone and paper to degrease or whatever if that's necessary to clean it, cotton powder to make it thicker because I work upside down, and then the fiberglass cloth. Probably some of you would say, oh, it's not a good one, you need biaxial. I don't have biaxial, can't find it here. And then some loose fibers for something else. A brush to put the epoxy into the cloth. I also would love to have one of those aluminium rollers to get all the bubbles out, but it's hard to get. It wasn't possible to get it in Greece, not in Italy, not over here. I should have brought it from the Netherlands, but I didn't. So I start with cutting the fiberglass. I should have brought a marker, would have made it easier. Yeah, I think I start with this. What I learned is that you need to start small and then bigger, because when you start small, it connects with the hull. Then the next one you make bigger, so it's also connecting to the hull. That should give the biggest strength. Yeah, that's it. I think I'll do 4 layers, both. I'm just gonna make small batches of epoxy, ratio 2:1, 1 centimeter A, half a centimeter of B, because this stuff hardens fast, especially with 30 degrees Celsius that it is here. Every time I use this stuff, I have too much. And yes, I close it up directly because it's going upside down at some moment. And the B component, mix it sufficiently, they say about 2 minutes. Then put some glass fibers in it. These are microfibers. It looks like powder, but it is little fibers. And not too much. Let me put a little bit of cotton powder in it. This is nasty stuff you shouldn't breathe in. Ah, too thick. Not gonna use this. Gonna use this for something else. Some fill-up. That was a short panic. Luckily I had a lot of blisters that I needed to fill up. They dried out, so I could use this epoxy for that. So nothing wasted. That's what I like. What I'm also doing is put a little bit of this loose fibers on top of it. So later on, when I put epoxy into the holes from above, then this will be one part with what I'm doing now. First time that I do this, a little bit of this stuff, which will just stay loose. I don't like working above my head, but who does? By the way, you put this wet on wet. If you wait too long, then you have to wait till it's hardened, after which you need to sand it. You can get actually all, or at least most of the bubbles, if there are out, but just stroking it. So this is the result for now. And this, because there's nothing to hold it back, it's gone a little bit inside. I have put some extra layers on it. So it's 6 or 7 layers now, should be strong enough, especially because I'm going to do something like that at the inside too, just to be sure. Now I'm going to wait for a little while. When it's still kind of wet, sticky, I'm going to put some extra epoxy with these micro cotton balls in it over it to make it straight. Saves me a lot of time. Should be no problem, I think. Again, this is no tutorial because I'm an amateur. I'm just doing what I do. Don't make the same mistakes as I do. As thick as peanut butter. The only thing left to do now is let it harden out for, I don't know how long, I think 48 hours something, 2 days. And then sand it, see if I need to do some adjustments to put some extra on it, and then it's closed. Oh, and then I need to drill another hole through one of these old holes to put in the new inlet of the watermaker. So it has a dedicated through hole. I am not allowed to disturb her, but at least I can film her from inside. Anja is busy doing all the gel coat work on the boat. She has to do it very quickly because the stuff hardens very quickly. So as you can see, this is upstairs in the boat, and these are the holes that I closed up from the depth sensor and the speedometer. I'm going to sand these a little more and then close them up with epoxy and with glass mats, because epoxy glues to anything except for Teflon and some other stuff. So absolutely no problem on the polyester. But as you can see, I can't really film what I'm doing here because this hole is so amazingly small. I have seen a few videos from boat professionals about doing these kind of things, about closing holes in the hull. And I think the best ones I saw was they used fiberglass and they pushed it into the hole. So the fiberglass like this
into the hole, touching the material that I've already done from the outside, and then coming up again. And then the next one the same, and at a given moment you're flattened out. Seemed like the best method, the strongest method, so I keep it at that. So you don't see any difference on camera, but I put like I think 7 layers of fiberglass in it. I was sweating so profoundly that I had to watch out that my sweat didn't drip in the epoxy, because epoxy and water before it's hardened out, not a good combination. But I think it went well, and I just need to wait till it's hardened out a little bit, so maybe 20 minutes, and then put some thick epoxy over it to have a nice straight layer, especially for the one I'm going to drill a new hole in for the inlet for the water maker. Should be strong enough. And if not, we are going to sink. This is going to be the new through hole, and it's going to be over there in the old hole of the speed sensor. So I'm going to drill a new hole and see how I can fit this, because the in-hole depth sounder is a little bit in the way. So I'm going to try to keep the new through hole as low as possible so it doesn't interfere with this one. That was the guiding hole from the inside, because only from the inside I can precisely see where the old hole was. So try to keep it a little in the middle. I don't know if that makes a difference, but feels safer. And I'm gonna drill it with some bigger ones, and then as a last thing, I don't even know how to call it, a hole saw. No, it's a drill. It's actually meant for wood, but it works on this too. I hope I have battery enough for this one. My batteries are old. Oh, I should have used a small hole. This is stupid. As you could see, this is just plain stupid. I should have just kept the small hole for this to be centered. Now I don't have anything to center, so... But never panic. Just think back to the past. Before I had tools, I just used what I have, and I will do that again. Approximately in the middle, and then just drill little holes. Just to show you how strong the new material is. And even with all my strength, I cannot push it through. Cannot even get it to move. So seawater will stay outside too, I guess. And it's out. Now just to clean up the hole a bit, and then we're done. Of course, again, not the right tool, but I don't really care. No, I think I need a file. Battery's empty. The other battery doesn't work anymore for some reason. I guess I need some new ones. So I'm gonna try this. It's maybe better, huh? At least it has the same curve as the hole, so that's a good thing. By the way, it's now easier to see how thick the hull is. This new material is as thick as the hull, so that's more than enough. Almost. A good way to see where you need to file. You can see where the thread touches the sides. And there we go. This is how it's gonna be. So this is keeping the weeds out. Putting the whole thing together is a little tricky, because I still need to put Sikaflex in between there, but I'm afraid that I would destroy the Sikaflex if I would first do the Sikaflex and then put these things on the through hole, because there's quite a lot of force needed to fit this together. There's not so much room to work in here anyway because of the in-hole depth sounder, so I need to take off the handle, and now I can turn it. Fits precisely. Both sides I did Sikaflex 291i and connected the inlet hose of the water maker. Ready, and it works.